Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to talk about a new product from Beauty Blender. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whipped Cream Blush. That was a mouthful. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you all about it, and we are even going to try it out today. So definitely stick around. Beauty Blender has definitely started moving away from just making beauty sponges. And I have a kind of a funny Beauty Blender story. I remember when they were launching and I worked at a celebrity magazine in Los Angeles. I won't name which one it is. And they kept trying to get on the pages of our magazine and the editor-in-chief would not have it. And they were so nice, and they had a friend that worked at the magazine, and she kept telling me to go to the editor-in-chief and try to get this little egg-shaped pink sponge in the magazine to apply makeup. And she was just like, stop coming to me with that. And it was like 2 years later, it just blew up. And I was like, there it is, there, oh my gosh, there it is. I could have broken that. But she thought it was silly. Well, after they built their empire on beauty blenders that Rebecca wasn't able to publicize for them, I think I got them in one issue, I think. But anyway, they have moved on to makeup. And as you know, this is the Bounce Liquid Whipped Cream Blush. But they also have a Bounce foundation, right? A Bounce concealer, Bounce setting powder. Is there anything other Bounce? So Bounce is kind of their little thing because you can take the blender and bounce, right? Not leave, but bounce it onto your face. And this cream blush is the latest edition. There are only 4 shades. I picked up 2 of them, so 50% of the collection. They are $22 each. Like I said, 4 shades. I picked up Cheeky Pink and Playful Peach, but there's also a rose shade and a berry shade that are a little bit darker. The reason there's only 4 is they are good for specific skin tones. And so I picked the 2 that would kind of work for me. And we are also going to try them on. Let me swatch them for you. These are cream to powder blushes. They're super buildable. They're matte. They can be applied with a damp beauty blender or sponge. They could also just be applied with your fingers or a brush, really however you like. The damp sponge, which is the method that we are going to use in the demo coming up in a second here, puts the most kind of concentrated amount of product on. You can also use this on the lips. Not that we need Beauty Blender's permission for that because you can use makeup anywhere you want really, but it's also a lip product. And as you see, you're getting a little preview. I do have it on my cheeks and my lips today. All right, so let's take a look at these shades. I'll swatch them for you just dry, not using a damp beauty blender. Here is the Playful Pink. Again, these are 2 of the 4 shades, so take a look there. I did a really nice thick swatch. It's much gentler when it's on the cheek. And here is the Playful Peach, which definitely has much more of kind of a almost neon orange. But as you can see already, it is on my cheeks, and it's not looking quite as intense because of course it's not so saturated. Now this is a definite, as you noticed, you probably heard me say cream to powder, and it is a very cream to powder. I started sticking my fingers into all of my cream blushes just to see kind of what it compared to. And don't worry, I will be doing a bigger comparison video with multi-brands. I'm letting Beauty Blender just have this one to themselves. I guess I owe it to them kind of after all these years. So I kind of started reaching into things like we have here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury the Glow, and I brought out the Rare Beauty. And the thing about these cream blushes is they're much more traditional. They almost, I don't know how to put it, but they almost sweat inside. They almost get a little, they're really creamy, really saturated, and almost get that slightly oily feel that people who don't like cream blushes are averse to. If you are stuck between liking a cream and liking the feel and look of a powder, this is actually a really good one for that. The minute this goes on, it feels like a powder. And I kind of put a lot of my blushes together and closed my eyes and touched them all. And the one it felt the most like was my Makeup by Mario powder blush, which I had accidentally gotten out forgetting that it wasn't a cream, because we've had so many cream products lately, right? So it felt the most like a powder. It's very, very powdery in texture when it goes on, but it does not show any texture on the skin. I'm I'm actually quite happy with it. They are very late in the game to this cream blush, and for that, many of you are going to say, Rebecca, how can you with a straight face recommend another cream blush? Seriously, we have enough, and I get it. I hear you, but the brand should not be blamed for, or maybe they should be if they could have checked more. They released this late, and so we are kind of inundated, and it might get passed over, which is a shame because it is a pretty little product if you are in the market for a cream to powder blush. I'm gonna take off right now and come back with nothing on my cheeks and lips, and let's try it out and see how it looks applied with a damp Beauty Blender sponge. Stay right there. Okay, let's try these little fellas on cheeks and lips. Really, they can go anywhere, but Beauty Blender does recommend them for both. So we are starting, as they would like, with a sponge, damp sponge. You can also apply this with your fingers. You can apply this with a brush, but being Beauty Blender, of course, that's what they suggest. So let's start with our cheeky pink. And we're gonna put the cheeky pink right here on this side. We'll put the peach on this side, and then we'll kind of blend them together a little bit. So I'm gonna really get in here using the butt of the sponge. I am not really a sponge user, but a damp sponge can't hurt this. And it is very, very, very pigmented when you use the damp sponge. When you go alone with just kind of your hands or a brush and there's no dampness, it's not quite as bright. I suppose that's an obviosity, right, guys? Okay, so that's really quite pretty, and I ran it all the way up the sides of the cheek. I am going a little bit overboard here on camera because sometimes I feel like blush gets washed out, and I really want you to see the shade. Though you saw a swatch, I really want you to see the shade. And now we're gonna go into, on the other side, then we'll kind of blend them together a little bit. Let's go into this Playful Peach. It should be a much more orange shade. They're already mixing a little bit on the blender, forgive me. This is a little bit more natural. I don't know if you can tell already. I'm applying it in the mirror, but also using the viewfinder. And again, I'm gonna go overboard and run it up. So we have our Playful Peach on this side and our cheeky pink on this side. And this is almost like a peach gold on the cheek. And the Playful Pink. Now what I'm gonna do is mix them a little bit. So I'm kind of going in and out of both just so we can have a more put together look and see what that's like there. And if you really want these to stay, you can, of course, add a powder blush over the top. So here's kind of a mix, just for fun and because I have them both out. You wouldn't have to mix them. Personally, I kind of like that peach shade a little bit more, and surprise, surprise, I kind of do like it with the wet sponge because it does give it that little bit of oomph that I kind of think it needs, and it is called Bounce, so you can bounce the damp sponge and get quite a pretty look. All right, I want to try these on the lips, and I'll do one on one lip, one on the other, and then kind of smush them together. I mean, there's not enough of it. All of these types of cream blushes, there's not always that much of especially when there's only 4 shades. You think with only 4 shades, they'd be very, very distinct. And I suppose the kind of plum, rose, berry shades are a little bit different, but these, I got a pink and a kind of apricot-y peach, thinking they'd be very different, and they're not really. I'm thinking this will not be comfortable on the lips. This is our peach shade. Because it is so cream to powder, yeah. This isn't, it's pretty. This is not something I would put on the lips. If I were out and about and had nothing else, there is peach on the bottom, nothing on the top. Peach on the bottom, nothing on the top. Cleaning off my hand, let's go. With the pink. Oh, you know what? It's actually quite a pretty little flush. I might be wrong. Okay, with resisting the urge to rub my lips together, just real quickly to show you, we have peach, Playful Peach, and cheeky pink. Playful Peach and cheeky pink. And just kind of rubbing them together. You know where I would use this? I would. If this were in my bag and I were running around and I just wanted to dot some color on. I don't generally do that. I don't find it that drying, which surprises me because often these kind of You know, like I don't like the Charlotte one for that. I find it kind of drying. I don't know. I understand that we can use these makeup products anywhere we want. I mean, theoretically, I could dip a brush in this and go in my eyes as well. I don't tend to do that. I like a blush for a blush, and I just have lip products I like to use on my lip. But could that go in your bag and then go on your lips just to add a quick kiss of color? Absolutely. It's quite a pretty little product. And quite interesting. I kind of like the mix of it. Don't hate on it for it being so late in the game. You know, I know that you need another cream blush like you need a hole in the head, but if you are the type of person who can't decide between cream and powder, this one is a very powdery cream. I mean, it's cream to powder, and it's a good one. Right now, it does not feel like a cream blush on the face. It definitely applies like a powder. And with the damp sponge, I do actually kind of recommend that. I played around with this before the video started and used just a brush or my fingers, and it was very pretty but very subtle. It is also not moving any of the makeup underneath. And it just kind of feels nice to put on that way, especially in the hot months. So I actually think this is quite a pretty little product. For $22 each, I think the Rare Beauty is about the same price, maybe $21, and I'm sure that I think Charlotte is about almost double that. So it's in the lower affordable range for high-end makeup, and you know, probably worth. I would totally throw one of these in my bag and just touch up real quick with my hands and put a little on my lips, and you're kind of presentable, voila. And it would be also really nice under a mask, just a little bit of kind of a stain on the lips. So very, very pretty. As I said, don't judge it because it came out late in the game. Let me know your thoughts below. I would love to hear what you think. Are you just done? Like, don't even bother you with these? Or might you pick one of the four up? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.